Welcome to the Double Dribble Podcast with Dubin and Dakhil. That's Jared Dubin, author of the amazing newsletter, which you should all have already been subscribed to. If not, you need to subscribe to it. Last night in basketball, he's going to drop a whole bunch of amazing bits of knowledge. Went deep into the draft combine data. I saw what you did. Jared. You went deep into the draft combine data. Hit us with all that fun stuff. You're going to get smarter as a basketball fan. Just read Jared, get the newsletter, help him out, support him. Just as simple as you supporting us here on the podcast on the RealGM network. I'm Dakhil, former video coordinator in the NBA. I do videos for Offside. I'm a contributor on NBA TV. You might find me on X Lives during the finals. I was just in New York where I got to hang out with Jared for a night. Unfortunately, I was so damn busy. It was literally just for one night. Jared, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Anytime you get a game 7, even one as lopsided as the one we just watched, it's still a good day.
It is a pretty good day. Let's talk about said game 7 because lopsided is almost an understatement for like what that game was. That was an ass whooping. Like at the end of the day, that was just a straight ass whooping. What were some of your kind of takeaways from this game that you saw where you're like, oh, damn, like I didn't know the Cavs had this in them?
I don't know that there was anything that didn't know that they had in them. I thought it was just a spectacular game from Donovan Mitchell, from Evan Mobley, and from Jared Allen. That was the biggest thing. Like each one of them was terrific in their own way. Mitchell distributing early. Stan Van Gundy kept pointing it out where he was having his best assist game in the playoffs. He had 8 assists and no turnovers. I think that was the playoff high in assists for this year. He came in only averaging like less than 3 a game. Mobley was really good on both ends of the court, I thought. And then Allen was dominating Jalen Duren inside on both ends of the court. And, I mean, the Pistons defense, like I don't know whether to focus on their offense or their defense. They scored like 80-something points per half-court possession when you look at the date. Let's see. I'm bringing up Cleaning the Glass. And it was 79.2 points per half court, 100 possessions in the half court, which is just terrible, obviously. And then they allow 106.5 in the non-garbage time, which that's in the 74th percentile. But for a lot of the game, it was much higher than that.
I mean, it was terrible. It was a terrible sort of run with where they were at and how they kind of got going with this game. The dribble penetration and the creation throughout the course of this game, like the Pistons just never once, it felt like, got to stop. They were out of position in pick and rolls, weren't on the same page coverage wise with the two defenders in the pick and roll. It was just, Mitchell gets in the lane, Harden gets in the lane. I mean, Schroeder was getting in the lane. The other thing that I thought the Cavs did better in this game that I don't feel like I really saw throughout the whole series was how well Jared Allen like moved and circled up to like the restricted area. Mm-hmm. One of Merrill's threes was off of that when Schroeder drove. He shifted up from the baseline, kind of circles around to the top of the restricted area. I just call it the circle up. And, he circles up from the dunker spot to there, and that creates the passing lane to Merrill, who knocks it down. Then he just got play after play. He got dunks off of it. He would get a post up off of that with every time those guys drove. It was just one of those things where the Pistons had no ability to stop dribble penetration. It felt like the Cavs just got in the paint whenever they wanted and then sprayed it out from there.
Yeah, every time they got into the paint, it was a free dump off to the guy in the dunker spot, or it was a free kick out to the guy on the perimeter. It felt like the Pistons, especially in the first half, were way over aggressive with their help, whether it was the guy coming from the low man or whether it was the guy coming from the corner, and it just seemed like the Cavs got whatever they wanted out of that.
Yeah, and it was just really kind of impressive. Big performance from Jared Allen and Mobley. Mm-hmm. I had actually texted a friend of mine last night and we were talking about the game, and I go like, the thing for me with the game is whichever bigs play better will win that team will win the series. Whoever big does. Pretty obvious the Cavs bigs were a lot better. The Pistons,
I would say so.
I was shocked not with Dern's like bad performance. I was shocked when the first big off the bench was Stewart over Paul Reed at this point.
Mm-hmm.
That had been the case through the course of the season, but like the past few games in the playoffs in this series, Paul Reed was getting those minutes and Stewart was buried on the bench. Like I was kind of surprised that we got, I think it was first quarter minutes, and then immediately just things started to go haywire at that point. And I mean, like, God damn.
To be honest, it didn't matter. None of them were good. Paul Reed wasn't good out there either.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, that's the bigger problem is when you need Paul Reed to rescue you through the course of the series, kind of in trouble, right? And I think that was sort of the thing. And Mobley stepped up, fight on. He was pretty solid. You had all that, obviously Allen, especially in the second half, was amazing. That offensive rebound he got off of his own missed free throw, like that was like, all right, that now fully embarrassed the Pistons at this point on their home court after Dan Gilbert sent 20 busloads of fans to Game 7. It worked so well in Game 5. He sent more for Game 7, and like, damn, dude, like you could start to hear him on the broadcast. Like it was pretty rough.
Yeah, there were some "Let's Go Cavs" chants that you could hear through the broadcast for sure. Allen got a couple of short rolls too, where there was one of them where he catches the ball at the free throw line. Duncan Robinson is there to meet him and then just runs away from him. And Karis LeVert doesn't come over to help. Stan Van Gundy pointed it out on the broadcast too. Like, I don't know what the hell happened there. Like there was that kind of breakdown all night for the Pistons.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too surprised just in the sense of like Duncan Robinson ain't coming over there. He's like, I'm just stunting. I need somebody else to come take the big guy. But I think ultimately, like, at the end of the day, when you look at it, first off, by the way, we should mention, but despite the 6 assists, Harden was hardening.
Yeah.
2 of 10, 0 of 6 from 3. I'm just saying, like, I don't want to shit on him, but he was hardening. I'm just going to leave it there.
He didn't turn it over, I don't think, at least, right?
He had 1 turnover, which is good. Like, and to be honest, like he was part of the guys with the dribble penetration. He had a great pass, I think, in the second quarter to Jared Allen for a bucket or a dunk off the pick and roll. Like he was good. Like the shooting numbers are again the thing that you're like, wow, this is kind of insane with what you have. But like, I mean, moved Max Strus into the starting lineup. I thought that was a move they did way too late. But anyway, it works out in this one like that. Just, I don't know what else to say. Game 7, like, I didn't feel like this was a strategy win. I just think one team just played so significantly better than the other team.
Yeah, and it was a out-hustling, out-muscling, out-efforting kind of win. Like, one of the things we said at the beginning of the Pistons Magic series was that the Magic were doing Pistons things better than the Pistons were, and that's what it felt like tonight. The Cavs did all of the Pistons stuff better than the Pistons did, and they came out and hit a bunch of threes with Sam Merrill and whatnot.
Which is also unlike this Cavs team to do. Like, the way they can be aggressive and physical, that's not what we're used to seeing with this Cavs team, and I think that's one of those things when you're watching it, you're like, wow, like this is the guy where like Mobley had a great possession. Starts off with him missing a 3. Donovan Mitchell gets the Cavs get the offensive rebound. Mitchell misses a 3. Mobley's the one that gets the second offensive rebound, bullies his way to get to the free throw line. Like, I think that's what you saw was like that kind of aggression. We're like, all right, that's what they've needed. That's kind of what we've been waiting on for them. So it was great to see it with how they go with everything there. We will talk more Cavs here in a second, folks, in the next segment. I just want to stay now on the Pistons, who pretty interesting decisions they're going to have to make in the offseason.
Yeah, right? I mean, great season for them though. Let's start there actually, because they go 60-22. They come back from 3-1 in the first round. Cade has this unbelievable season, finishes, 5th in MVP voting, if I'm remembering correctly. That came out today. We'll talk about that a little more later. Duren's an all-star and obviously fell apart in the playoffs, but was so good throughout the entire regular season. You get really good seasons from a bunch of other guys. Like a really, really good season for them, even if it ended in this tremendous disappointment.
Yeah, I think that's like for me, the way I looked at it going into this game, this would be a far more disastrous result if you were the Cavs to lose this game. You made a big trade and got older, all that. Like you basically have done and maximized all the moves you can with this team. If you don't get out of the second round, like you're in a whole different situation in the offseason. For the Pistons, when you look at the way this season went, none of us had them finishing first. We all had them as a playoff team, but none of them had them being, this far ahead of the field in the East.
No.
And then you kind of look at it, and now you get to the playoffs, and it struggles against Orlando. Obviously lose to Cleveland in 7. And the stuff that was scary in the playoffs, one, and this isn't about their offseason, but Cade Cunningham's turnovers, that can't be a thing that happens again in the playoffs. He had
the turnover issues last year against the Knicks too.
But it's understandable your first playoffs, understandable even in your second playoffs. You can't have that next year. That has to be a habit that's gone. Like, we're talking about you finishing 5th in MVP. Great. I probably would have had Jaylen Brown, but like, I think you're in that instance where you have to figure out what can you do because these turnovers, a lot of them were not forced turnovers.
Right. That was the big concern to me, was that like we knew coming into the playoffs that they were going to have issues with guys other than Cade creating, and that would put a lot of pressure on him to do everything. But a lot of these turnovers felt just like sloppy, unforced errors.
Yeah, and I think that's the stuff where it's like, okay, that's scary. Listen, he's under contract for a while, a lot of money, but well-deserved. We'll see how he develops in everything he has there. Then you have to come look at the questions and the biggest question is, what do you do with Jalen Duren? Restricted free agent this season. You have Ausar Thompson, who is going to probably get extended. Yeah. Right. I think it's safe. Like, he's extension eligible. So you know that that's going to get taken care of. What are you going to do with Duren after what you saw in the playoffs? Now, a few things that are important to note. You said it already. He was an all-star in the regular season. He's 22 years old. Right? Like, this isn't like the end of his career, or this is who Jalen Duren is. At least not yet. We're not going to have that conversation. But if he comes back with like a 5-year, $250 million deal, like, what are you going to do if you're Detroit?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can go to like a max deal. I think you got to play hardball to a certain extent. Like, I don't know if I'm just straight up maxing him.
Yeah, especially when you add in Thompson's extension is going to be, something that's not obviously coming in next season, but you're going to agree to it, and it's going to kick into the season after. Mm-hmm. Like, you have to start kind of planning there a little bit. It gets really tough there. And then I think there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to try to go chase after Duren.
I mean, well, that's the good thing about having restricted free agency. Like, if some team comes in and offers them a bunch of money, you can just match it.
But it's going to be an interesting one, like how that kind of can blow up their team in that sense. Like, that's one area where I think you have to kind of look at. The other guy, what are you going to do with Tobias Harris?
Yeah. I would say, just quickly to go back to Duren real quick, like, you got to really weigh, like, how much can you build your team around Cade, Ausar, and Duren? Like, how viable is that? Because it's not like Cade is a great shooter, like,
I'm gonna go one level above. I don't know if you can look at it and going like, we have to build around Ausar. Like, you can't do it with him and Duren. That can't be your building block with that. I get it. Like, we see his defense. There's no offensive game there with him consistently enough. Now, is that going to develop? Is that going to come? I don't know. Like, his brother came into the league already more advanced than him in that department. And it's hard. Like, when you look at it going like, what do you do now with Thompson? Unbelievable defensive play. Like, I don't have enough words for how good he is. He's a better defender than his brother, in my opinion. Like, I think he's going to win a defensive player of the year type stuff.
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, Wemby's, I know, but like he's going to be in the range. He'll be in the top 3 of the voting there.
Yeah.
But like
he was this year, right? He was 3rd this year.
I think he was. But like I don't know if like when you look at his if his offensive game's not going to progress, like you're in a real tough spot with him and Duren on your team. And like you said, Cade's not a great 3-point shooter. I don't know if there's any remorse, but like they should have done more at the trade deadline. I think we were all kind of underwhelmed with Kevin Huerter, who like I barely remember even in the playoffs. Like I think when you're watching them, you just want to see a little bit. You need to add more shooting. Tobias Harris did what Tobias Harris does. Disappeared in a big game. Like
that magic ran out over the last few games.
Yeah, and so it's like you're kind of, you got to figure out now, all right, is Danis Jenkins going to be a guy over the next several years, right? He's going to want an extension. Probably won't get it, but he's going to want an extension. You have guys like, Ron Holland coming up eventually. Like, how do you sort – like, there's just a lot of stuff there. But when you just look at their lineup, man, it's just like there's no shooting. There's just no shooting. I don't know what besides Duncan Robinson, like, who are you really worried about? And Duncan Robinson gets gun shy from time to time. And then it's like you have to, like, yell at him to shoot threes, which I don't get either. But, like.
Tobias is the other shooter, at least from the corners. And obviously that didn't work out so well for them over the last few games of the series. The thing I'm confused about with Asar offensively is he and his brother both came into the league with more on-ball skill. Like, Amen was the better on-ball player coming into the league, but Asar had more on-ball skills coming into the NBA than he's shown in the few years that he's been with Detroit. It seems strange to me that he's not a better offensive player than he is at this point of his career.
It's also hard, though, on this team, right? Like, it's all Cade all the time, and it's not – this isn't a shot at Cade.
But you would think they need more guys to be able to do stuff on the ball. Like, why can't you put the ball in his hands at all when Cade is on the bench? Why can't you put the ball in his hand? Like, why can't he be more of a screen and roll guy that makes plays, from the middle of the court?
Oh, you mean JB Bickerstaff be creative?
Yeah, I mean, well, look, JB Bickerstaff obviously has done a very good job over the 2 years that he's been in Detroit, but I think we've also seen from JB Bickerstaff teams over the years, they set a very high floor in the regular season, but the ceiling is not necessarily there in the playoffs, and there are limitations there.
Yeah, at this, so much is going to just depend on what they do in the offseason and what next season looks like. It's going to be hard, but like I think I'm with you. At the end of the day, this was a successful season. I'm sure they're pissed off, and like Piston fans are pissed, want to go to the conference finals. You're the number 1 seed, but I think these were also the 2 teams we expected to make the conference finals, right? We expected the Knicks versus Cleveland in the conference finals. Cleveland started out slow, took a while to get going, then they finally got there, but like this is who we thought they'd be. And we're back, folks. And like we said, we're going to talk about this series coming up. Knicks versus the Cavs. The 2 teams we thought we'd be there. Where do you think the pressure points are that the Cavs can push on the Knicks right off the bat? I also want to point out they've played the maximum allowable playoff games you could play so far through 2 rounds, right? They've played 14 total games. Game 2 is going to be Tuesday night, so not a lot of rest. What's your view, and like where are the pressure points?
I mean, I think the pressure point has to be Donovan Mitchell going at likely Mikal Bridges. Like, he has to do much more than what Tyrese Maxey was doing in the last series. He has to be the best player in the series for the Cavs to come away with the win here. And the bigs have to hold up in a significantly better way than they did when they played the Knicks a few years ago, when it was Mitchell Robinson and Isaiah Hartenstein dominating them on the glass. Like that cannot happen this time around.
Yeah, I think it's really important. Like that's the most important series. I mean, the matchup that I'm paying attention to in the series is Bridges versus Mitchell, because OG's gonna take Harden and deal
I
with
don't
the
know
physical.
about that. It might be OG on Mobley and Josh Hart on Harden.
That's a good way. That's a good one. I don't know. I still think you put OG on Harden.
You
I
might.
don't think. Or I think Hart versus Mobley is still going to be a pretty good battle with that. I don't know if Mobley's going to want to deal with the physicality, really, of either guy. And I think that matchup is going to get mixed up a bunch. But it's going to come down to Bridges versus Mitchell at the end of the day. Like, and OG is going to have some time on Mitchell as well, obviously, depending on rotations and how things go. But this is going to be a tough, like, matchup there. And it's got to come, like, Donovan has to be, he can't have, like, shitty games like he did game 6, right? Like, he's got to be a monster throughout the course of the series. And like you said, even higher than the level Tyrese Maxey was.
Yeah, I mean, Maxey just didn't hit the requisite level at all, and that's why the Sixers came in and got swept. Like, he was invisible for a lot of the series, and that was one of Bridges' best defensive performances that we've seen, obviously, of the entire year. He did a really good job on Nickeil Alexander-Walker when he was actually on the court in the Hawks series, too. Obviously, he disappeared for games 2, 3, and 4 in that series, but games 1, 5, and 6, he was very good, particularly on defense, and obviously he's been on fire on the opposite end of the court throughout the last 5 or 6 games or so. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to say that it's all on Mitchell, but so much of it lies on Mitchell because they don't have a perfect matchup for him. Like
that's the problem, right? Like they don't have a clean matchup with that. And I know they're going to try to hunt. They're going to try to put Brunson in a lot of actions.
Yeah.
I think
but do you really want to be running so much of your offense through whether they stick with Strus or they go back to Dean Wade? Like, do you really want your offense to be Mitchell Strus or Mitchell Wade pick and rolls every trip down the court where Mobley and Allen are uninvolved?
I mean, no, but I think that's going to be, but I think teams fall into that trap. How often, right? Like we chase the matchup so much more, ends up becoming a big problem for them. And I think that's something that, like, you could see them. They are going to hunt him though. Like you kind of have to.
Oh, you have to for sure.
In the weak points with that, I think that's going to be an important one there. Like you need to make sure you're getting that and putting Brunson in these actions. Like it's going to be pretty. Ow! I just stubbed my toe and I'm leaving this in the show. Ow! Farfignugan. That hurt so bad. That's karma for something I've done. I don't know what. I've lost my point. You talk. My foot.
I was going to say, we were talking about hunting Brunson. I will say that one of the biggest things about this series is that it doesn't really look like you can hunt Towns at this point. He's been so good defensively throughout the playoffs. And I thought that throughout the regular season, this was probably his best defensive season, which was sort of damning with faint praise when you consider the rest of his career. But he was pretty good for a lot of this year. And in the playoffs, he's been phenomenal defensively. And one of the reasons that people were somewhat skeptical again about the Knicks when it comes to the playoffs was, well, you have 2 targets to hunt defensively. And right now it seems like you only have 1. And even Brunson was pretty good in the Sixers series for the most part.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the I think that's like the thing they got to figure out though, right? Like how can we attack them? Cat's this has been a phenomenal defensive playoffs from Cat. Like I've been blown away with it. Also kind of pissed off of like, so you could have done this before. Right? Like, so it's been there. You just didn't do it. I really stubbed my toe badly, Jared. It hurts. I think ultimately when you're looking at the way, like there aren't a lot of weak points for them anymore because the way Cat's playing, Hart, OG, Bridges, like you're not really trying to go at them. Even when they come in off the bench with Mitchell Robinson, you're not going to go at him. You know, maybe you're going to try to take a run at the other guys. Shamit, sure, maybe. Clarkson for sure. McBride's tough as hell. Like, I don't think you're going to really kind of make a run at him. Like, I think it's kind of an interesting one for Cleveland where I almost also at some degree kind of freeze them a little bit of like, we're not going to waste all our energy hunting Brunson. Let's go to, let's just run our offense and see what we get.
I do wonder how much of McBride and Shamet we see, because it does seem like those guys are pretty well suited to defend one of Harden or Mitchell just because of the way that they're tough on the ball. Shamet is more about chasing guys around screens and whatnot, but McBride obviously on the ball is a very strong defender. So I wonder how much we see of each of those guys. I mean, the other end of the court, though, we haven't really talked about yet. Who is guarding Brunson on this team? Like, is it going to be Max Strus guarding Brunson, or does Mitchell have to guard Brunson? Is that like what you have to do, and just ask him to be everything on both ends of the court?
I mean, it's so incredibly hard, but I think you kind of have to. I don't think Strus can stay with him. Obviously not Harden. Like, I don't know where you go with this defensive. The funnier thing is they have a better option, but he doesn't start. It's off the bench with Keon Ellis, and you're not going to put him in the starting lineup.
He doesn't even play.
Oh, he got a little. They're right. It was crunch time today. And out of reflex, I saw him. It was like, oh yeah, Keon Ellis is on. And then it was like, forgot it was like, they got in the middle beating the crap out of the Pistons. I think it's going to be like, that's such a perplexing thing because now you're going to put so much wear and tear on Mitchell guarding Brunson, who will get him at least in one or two games into foul trouble. But like, you can't have, like, you're putting too much stress on him. I think you have to start with either Dean Wade or Strus. If whoever you have starting as your 3-man has to guard those guys. But the honest thing is, though, Jared, too, is like, there's not a lot of places to hide in this series. Like, you're going to put Harden on Hart, right? You're going to hide him there for the most part, right? It's,
are you? Because don't you probably want to put Jared Allen on Hart and guard Towns with Mobley?
I mean, I don't know if you want to, just because you got to think about it this way. Like, is Harden going to handle what, guarding Bridges or OG? Like, that ain't going to happen.
Yeah, it's tough.
Like, that's the hard stuff you're going to have to figure out if you're Kenny Atkinson right now. Like, this is the questions you got to answer, and I don't know if that's something that you really have an answer for.
I don't know that they have a good answer for Brunson. I don't know that they have a good answer for Towns. Like, I don't know that they have a good answer for anybody other than which guy you want to put on Hart. And like, do you want to ask Hart to make threes, or do you want to ask Hart to make plays? And I think either one of those things he's shown that he can do at this point.
So you have to really figure out where you go with this. And I just think this is a bad matchup for Cleveland, right? Like, this is the problem for Cleveland. Like, they don't have, even if they go double big, they want to stay double big. Cool. If it really hurts them, the Knicks can just start Robinson.
Yeah.
Now they go double big. Like, this is one of those series where I feel like right now going into it, the Knicks have all the answers.
Or at least they pose more questions.
That's a fair way to put it, actually. That's a better way to put it. This is why you are who you are and I'm who I am.
I'm a lawyer.
They do have the ability to pose more questions. I think what you're going to end up having to figure out, though, if you're Cleveland, is like, what are you willing to give up? Because you have to give up something. You can't try to take everything away. We've talked about this before, right? You do that, you give up everything. I don't know what the answer is to that. That's their thing. Like, I don't know what you can really be okay with giving up.
Yeah, I think I'm making Hart hit threes to start the series, and I'm starting Mobley on Towns and Allen on Hart, and asking Harden to hold up against Anunoby, and just hoping that Anunoby physically is not where he's been because of the hamstring injury. I think that's how I'm starting. And if that doesn't work, then maybe I flip the matchups. And if that doesn't work, maybe I'm just going one big and bringing Jalen Tyson in there.
That's hard, man. Like, I like Tyson, but that's by the way, that might be who starts. And you put him on Brunson. Actually, now that I think about it, that might be who you start and go with and put him on Brunson and then see if that will be enough to can get you at least slow this stuff down. Like that's going to be such a challenge.
We might see on him a bunch is Schroeder.
But like I don't know how many minutes are you really going to play Schroeder, right? Like Brunson's going to play like 38 to 40 minutes. Or you can't really do a Schroeder, Mitchell, Harden lineup. Can you? Like have they even done that?
I think we saw it for a couple minutes in this game tonight.
Yeah, like throw out parts of this game because the game was so bad at a certain point. They're just like, let's see what we got.
Yeah.
I think you're in a very difficult spot there with that. For me, also, one thing I'm going to say right now, all the pressure's on the Knicks. Don't blow this.
It's a golden opportunity.
Yeah, you have the perfect opportunity right now to go to the finals. And it's funny because I feel like we've said something similar last year.
Yeah, we did.
So just don't blow this if you're the Knicks. Like you got to be better than this with what you're going. Like you got to be ready to roll with this. Maybe they learned from last year. I think we touched on it already. Cat's been better defensively this year. Brunson's given more effort, at least defensively in this one. Like you said, in that Philly series, like it was very hard to get him to switch. Like he had done a good job for the most part, not conceding switches. I can't imagine a way in which the Knicks lose this series.
I think all three other starters have been better defensively this year than last year too.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I mean, and credit to, again, Mike Brown. They found their offense. They figured out how they're going to attack offensively for the most part, or at least have added another offense with running stuff through Cat.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how the Cavs deal with that either.
The Cat Mobley matchup is going to be phenomenal.
Assuming that's what we get, yeah, I think that's going to be really cool and really fun.
Like that's going to be when that does happen. I don't know how. Like again, I'm kind of just trying to figure out where they start their matchups in the first, the game one. Man, there really is no way they can start double big. The more I just keep thinking about it.
But they're going to. Like, we know
they're going to. Yeah, I mean, it just means Harden is going to end up on OG or Bridges. Like,
yeah. I think he ends up on OG and Mitchell's on Bridges. But
good luck. OG could feast. Like, I just don't see. I think you're right, but like OG should be able. And I'm not too worried about the hamstring. I mean, they didn't even give it a grade. We're at the point now, if they don't even give you a grade, is it really?
Oh, but the Knicks would never do that, though. Everybody's just day-to-day with all of their injuries. Like, Deuce McBride was day-to-day with a knee injury before he ended up getting core muscle surgery and being out for 2 months.
Fair enough.
Like, OG was day-to-day with that elbow injury a couple of years ago. He wound up getting surgery. Like, everybody's just day-to-day. There's no information. Like, Julius Randle was day-to-day when he had to get shoulder surgery.
That stuff. Oh man, Jared, what else do you want to talk about in this series?
Do the Cavs have enough guys coming off of their bench to compete with the Knicks bench? I feel like the Knicks bench was a pretty significant advantage in the previous series against the Sixers. I don't know that the Cavs have really, like, especially if you're starting Strus, then it's like Schroeder, Wade, Tyson coming off the bench.
Yeah, it's not enough. Like, just again, with the bench the Knicks have.
Oh, and Merrill. I forgot Merrill.
Yeah, don't forget, he was freaking lights out tonight. But like I can't imagine when you look at compare the two benches, it's not even close. Like when you look at what the Knicks bring off the bench with first off, Mitchell Robinson's a starting center in this league.
Yeah.
Right. And he comes off the bench. Like
and he's a significant matchup problem for the Cavs. We've seen them struggle with the physicality from this team. Obviously, they won the game after the trade deadline, the one game that they played with Harden there, but we've seen we've seen them struggle with these guys before.
Yeah. You can't really deal with that. Like, they don't have an answer, dude. Like, I don't want to say they're drawing dead. but they're going to
No,
have to.
we're not saying any team's drawing dead anymore. We're not doing that anymore in these playoffs.
We're not doing that anymore. That's out. We're just very simply though. Like I don't know how. Like Mitchell has to be absolutely amazing.
He's got to be the best player in the series. Like he has to be the best player in the series, like easily. And the Knicks have 2-3 guys that could conceivably be better than him in a series.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? Like, I don't know what else to say. Who are you picking in this series?
I'm taking the Knicks. I don't know if I don't think I'm going to take the Knicks in 5. Like I could see it, but I'm probably just going to go Knicks in 6.
Oh, I thought you were going to take them in a sweep.
Oh, no. Half my friends are already taking the Knicks at a sweep, so.
Well, I saw Ben Stiller has already posted Knicks in 5.
Okay.
So we know what Ben Stiller is going with. I think I was going to go safe at 6, but I think I'm just going to go 5. I just don't think they have the ability to answer. I think they lose game 1 just out of pure fatigue. They've been going every other day, it feels like. I mean, since game 5 of the first round, like I think fatigue is going to play a role in this. I'm gonna go with Ben Stiller as much as I don't want to. I'm going Knicks in 5.
Yeah, I mean it's a totally reasonable pick. I hate to go against Ben Stiller, but I'm going to stick with my safer prediction of Knicks in 6.
Yeah, coward. You wanted a sweep. I didn't put this in the rundown. I should have. I'm gonna, as always, throw a little bit of a curveball. Let's spend 2 minutes on the Wolves being eliminated in game 6. Completely no showing it. What's your view for them beyond, how this season went and beyond?
I feel like there's been a lot of retrospective. This makes the Rudy Gobert trade not worth it, and this makes the Towns, Randall, DiVincenzo trade not worth it. That's been like the overriding theme of the talk about the Wolves. Like they made the conference finals twice and then lost a really tough series with their best player at 70% at best and their best shooter not in it for the entire series. Like the idea that just because you didn't make the finals or win the finals, that everything that came before that and everything you did to accomplish what you have over the last 3 years is terrible and you shouldn't have done it. I feel like it just discounts anything other than winning the finals. And I can't get on board with that. There are accomplishments that matter other than that, especially for a team like the Wolves that has been so terrible for so long during like basically our entire adult lives. And for most of the run of the franchise, like this has been a really good team over the last few years. And did those moves turn out perfectly and get them over the top to what they wanted to do? No, but they still made them into a really good team that put together a couple of really nice runs. Like that's the thing that sort of sticks out to me the most is there's been a lot of revisionist history and like those moves, like the Towns for Randall and DiVincenzo move less so, but the move for Gobert, which I thought was an atrocity at the time, has turned out to be a really good trade for them.
I don't like the people who are like kind of relitigating these past trades. I don't know what's your point, right? 2 conference finals in 2 years. About to say 2 conference finals in 1 year, which would have been even
very impressive.
Would be wildly impressive. We made it in the Eastern and Western Conference. Like it would be insane. I don't know what we're accomplishing. There's a clear ceiling.
Yeah.
Right. And I think the thing that like Randall's limited in the playoffs. Like Randall's game's not a playoff game. Really.
He's an 82 game player, not a 16 game player, as Draymond would say.
And definitely when he's your like second option, right? Like if he's your third or fourth option, like holy cow, like you must be really good, right?
Mm-hmm.
The thing I can't get. I've been reading a lot of like the press conferences, from the Wolves after game 6. and everybody kind of just sort of kept talking about the theme was generally the same, right? And like there was a general moodiness on this team, right? And a general sort of like frustration and things. Ant comes out like, yeah, we got to listen to coach during the regular season. We got to be better in the regular season, put more effort into the regular season, all that stuff. Like he's saying all the things you'd want to hear him say. But I was really kind of interested because it felt like I saw Ant say something along this line. I saw Naz Reid say something, McDaniel say something. You know, it's almost like they were, without saying it, kind of pointing a finger at Randall.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly possible. I would also say, like, just to go back to the previous thing, because I still can't wrap my head around it. Like, ideally, you're going to have 3 5-year eras with Anthony Edwards as the face of your franchise and best player on your team. I think spending one of them trying to get this team over the top was a worthy gamble.
They were right there, man. I mean, look, man, they won a Game 7 in Denver and knocked off the champs. Like, that's pretty freaking impressive, man. Like, I think we're kind of so quick to dismiss it. You know, like you said, like, if you don't win a championship, it's all over. Like, I think we're kind of losing sight of it, of what this team was going to be. And then the one thing I'd say that is challenging for them, the West just got better.
Yeah.
Right. Like you look at we know the Thunder, you obviously know the Spurs, you know, with where they're at. Denver's not quite going anywhere, although we'll see how they kind of figure things out. We'll see what the Lakers can figure it out with Luka and what they need to do. Like, West is still really good. Who knows what happens with Dallas and how they build around Cooper Flag and Kyrie? There's so many other things. Like,
the only thing you don't have to worry about is the Kings.
Well, they're not really an NBA team. Like, it's 29 teams and then the Kings. Like, that's the way I kind of look at it. Yeah, I feel for them. I was just kind of taken aback at the number of like moodiness comments I kept seeing coming from the Wolves, and it really did feel pointed all at like Randall, and like he was kind of it stems really from the whole their pursuit of Giannis in February.
Yeah,
and so you know we can just blame Giannis for torching another team.
There's been a lot of that going around.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of that. You have any other Wolves thoughts?
Nah, man. We could go. I'm sure we'll talk about them throughout this offseason because it seems like they might be busy because they're probably going to try to make some kind of move to get themselves up to the next level. They have to.
They have to at this point. I'm going to end it on this point. Chris Finch is a damn good coach. I don't think he gets the respect he deserves. He's very underrated as a coach. He's a damn good coach. With that said, folks, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be right back after that, and we're going to break down Spurs-Thunder. And, folks, we are back. Let's go to the conference finals. This is kind of – I feel like everybody was hoping this would happen after that 3-game run in December. Right? Where everybody was like, all right, let's go. You know, and I think we're going to have – there's a legitimate chance this is just going to be an absolutely amazing series.
Oh, I mean, I hope it's an absolutely amazing series. Like, we absolutely deserve that after the way the season went. Like, these are the 2 best teams in the league, I think we can safely say, or were at least throughout the regular season. We have the 2 of the 3 best players in the league, probably 2 of the 4 or 5 best players in the league, depending on how you want to classify Wemby at this point in his career, probably top 3.
2 of 2.
Could be 2 of 2. You might want to say that too. Like, you got them going head to head, obviously not like actually head to head, but you know, we've got the best defense in the league trying to figure out an unstoppable alien. You've got that 3-headed monster in the backcourt for San Antonio going against that Oklahoma City defense too. Obviously, you've got all of these guys on OKC trying to figure out how to score against an alien that protects the entire inside of the arc by himself. Like we deserve this, and it's going to be awesome, and it better be awesome.
Yeah, I think this is going to be really something that, like, we might have a classic on our hands. Like, I think we're going to have 3 or 4 games that are just full-on classics. Like, and we're going to be like, holy crap, dude. Like, every night, this game's a banger, and not to crap on Knicks Cavs.
It's the undercard. Like, it's the undercard. Like, it is.
Like, if it's like I can only pick one series to watch, it's going to be Spurs-Thunder. And I'll just catch the other one the next day, in the morning. Like, it's going to be pretty electric in there. And just right off the bat, we're sending a signal. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander wins his second MVP in a row. Wemby, who was campaigning for it, is going to be looking at him and staring at him when he lifts that trophy up at the arena before game 1. Like, I could see a Wemby special coming in game 1.
Could be the reverse shades of, what was it? Was it 94 or 95 when David Robinson won MVP and Hakeem took it to him in the playoffs?
94, because 95 they weren't as good. 94, like they were the 15th seed in the West, so I don't think he was in the running for MVP that year.
No, because 97 was when they got Tim Duncan, so they weren't the 15 seed. Robinson won MVP in 95.
Sorry, the Rockets were the 5th seed in 95.
Oh,
weren't they?
Well, that was when Robinson won MVP, was in 95. So,
so that was it. Okay, so it was that series. Okay,
yeah.
So we might see that again. Like, I think maybe some of us are hoping for that more than anything else. And you know what's going to happen? The very first block Wemby gets on Shai, we're going to go nuts. The very first foul Shai gets on Wemby, we're going to go nuts, right? Like,
oh God, the discourse in this series is going to be brutal. Like, it's going to threaten to overshadow. It is going to threaten to overshadow the series.
It is going to be a little bit nauseating. But I am going to say what I think is going to be really kind of I don't know if they'll overshadow it, because I just think we have so many things. Wemby versus Chet, massive, right? That rivalry. Wemby does not like Chet.
It's so funny. He hates Chet, and Chet's like, I'm just here, man. Like, I don't understand what's happening right now.
Well, he better be ready for Wemby to come. The Castle versus Shai, I had this bookmark. Of course, naturally, I don't prepare properly for the show, but I bookmarked this one. A post I saw on X. SGA when guarded by Stefan Castle. You want to guess his field goal percentage? 19 shots.
19 shots. I'll say he went 7 for 19.
That's actually pretty damn good, dude. I'm impressed. 6 of 19.
Oh, wow.
I'm impressed, though, Jared. You were like right on the cusp.
I will say those stats, I would not trust them very much. The way they like delineate partial possessions and like who they assign credit as the defender is not great.
Yeah, but still, like, just in the sense of for a good amount of it, I'm excited for that matchup.
I'm absolutely excited for that matchup. I'm excited to see like how the Thunder decide to guard Wemby. Like, when you look at the matchup data, who do you think guarded Wemby most often for the Thunder during the regular season?
I know it was a lot of it was Alex Caruso. I remember the last game they played, they did finally put Chet on Wemby for a good part of it.
Who do you think is number one, most matchups and most time matched up?
Probably Dort.
Kenrich Williams.
Oh, yeah. I remember that now. Yeah. I
think it's safe to say we're going to see a significantly different series than what we saw in like some of that is the one game where the Oklahoma City played like 8 guys or whatever it was, but he did also get chances in those earlier games during the regular season.
They put him in those earlier games, and not the one where they just didn't play anybody, but they put him in to rough up Wemby. Like that was like use your fouls. Like that was something I remember it where it was like be physical with Wemby, rough him up there a little bit. I am a little bit worried about Lou Dort being on the court and doing something dirty.
Why would you not be? I will say too, so like, do you think that they start with the double cross match and put J-Dub on Wemby because he's back. He's listed as available for game 1. And that was how they started in the regular season.
I think that's a really shitty thing to do to J-Dub with your first game back. Right?
So
like
I start Hartenstein on him?
Honestly, I'm just start Chet on him. Like, let's just go to work. Like,
I mean, they're going to use Chet as a rover. Like, I feel like that's not even an option. They're going to use Chet as a rover.
But they did in their recent in one of their matchups where they just put Chet on him and try to go to work there. Because I think, honestly, like, you're putting yourself in a little bit more of a difficult position. Who's Chet guarding on the perimeter? They're going to put him on Castle. Castle's going to get to the rim and draw fouls on Chet. Like, who are you? Like, it comes back to, like, and you can make the same argument. Who's Hartenstein guarding, right? Like, where are we going to put him as well, right? Like, it's going to be a combination of those two. I don't think, first off, I think teams are beginning to lose the plot here a little bit with, hey, we can put our smalls on their bigs. Look, man, Portland tried it, worked for a game. Wemby figured it out. You know, Minnesota tried it, didn't really have the guys for that.
No.
Didn't really work out, though. Like, I don't know if it's going to be a thing where they're going to have, like, I don't know if it's smart to do it. Chet's your best defender, like your rim protector, everything like that. You need to just put him on Wemby. Like, the game of, like, we're going to do cross match. Because honestly, this is the thing that's really possible. This is going to be cross match versus cross match versus cross match. Because the Spurs are also going to cross match, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be it. We're going to get that as well. So it's like
I feel like the only thing that's not going to be cross matched is Dort and Fox guarding each other.
Pretty much, and that's if Fox played. He was listed as questionable. So
he was listed as questionable at the end of the Wolves series too, and he played through it.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a pretty bad sprained ankle.
Yeah.
You know, but we'll see how that plays out. Cornet also listed as questionable. That's kind of a big deal. I think the most important thing for the Spurs in this series is they got to knock down their 3-point shots.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know off the top of my head what Champagne's 3-point numbers were in the last series, but they were not good. Or they were not like what he was. They have to hit threes in this series.
Yeah, it's a bellwether for them, just like it's a bellwether for any team. But also, like, when you're playing Oklahoma City, if you don't, like, they will give you threes, you know? If you're not knocking them down, you are going to lose. Like, you have to hit your threes and you can't turn the ball over. That's like the the absolute musts against OKC, or you're just not winning.
And I'm not too worried about the turnovers, right? Like, I think San Antonio is going to be able to hold up well in that department, but it's going to come down to the 3-point shooting. And it's, you know, and like you said, like, I don't like it being the bellwether for every team. But, like, this is going to be significant going into this series. And then I think on the other end of it, you know, how many shots can the Thunder take in the paint and how many can they make when Wemby's on the floor, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you know, there was I saw something where, like, Wemby has 41 total blocks in the postseason, which is absurd when you consider he's missed time. And then you have, and the Thunder have 38 as a team.
Jesus.
Like, yeah, and part of it,
Wemby's essentially missed 2 full games because he got ejected from one, he got injured in one, and then he missed one with the concussion. So he's essentially missed 2 full games. He has 41 blocks. That's ridiculous.
And the other thing, to be fair to the Thunder, they only played 8 games, right? They've swept everybody, you know, who they've played with all that. I'm gonna be curious to see how they kind of handle dealing with Wemby in the paint.
Yeah, I mean, how do you, like? I'm at a loss for words because there is no way to deal with Wemby in the paint.
It's a really, like, that's just who he's been. Like we're just at that point.
Good thing that they have a guy who doesn't need to get all the way into the paint to score.
Yeah, SGA better. But the thing is, like, but that allows Castle to be so much more aggressive on SGA.
Yeah.
Assuming he's got to be careful, can't pick up ticky-tack fouls.
He was in foul trouble the entire Wolves series. Like, he's got to keep his hands to himself.
And a lot of it, to be honest, was him on the offensive foul. We talked about it last time with the hook where he grabs the guy as he's driving. He's got to just get that out of your game, dude. Like, get that out of your game. All right, I want to do this. I look at series sometimes as saying, like, okay, rank for both teams total, combine them. What's the top? Who has the most? What's the top 5 of best players in this series? SGA, Wemby, 1 and 2. I don't care your order; it doesn't matter. Yeah. Third best player, is that going to be J-Dub or Chet?
I think right now you'd have to say it's Chet just because J-Dub's coming off the injury. And you don't know what he's going to look like.
So who's the 4th best player in this series?
I mean, it's either J-Dub or Castle. If J-Dub's healthy, I feel like it could and should be him. And if not, then it's Castle.
And then the 5th would be the other one, right? So it's 2 Spurs.
The other one, 3, and then Fox.
And then Fox at 6. Is Harper 7?
Damn, he might be. And he might be better than Fox.
I was going to say he might be 6.
Yeah.
Like, it gets interesting when you look at it that way, where it's like, I think it's right. The Thunder have 3 of the top 5 players in the series. But we should also mention Wemby is like on another plane of existence at this point.
And he could be one by the end of the series. Like, he could be the best player by the end of the series.
It's a fight for it. It's a definite fight for who's the best player in this series right now. Like, it's not like in the other series for the Thunder, it wasn't a competition, right? It was, and I get it. It was the Suns and the Lakers. It wasn't a competition, but this one going to be a fight. Like, this is the Thunder, by the way, welcome to the playoffs.
Right.
Like your playoff start May 18th because you've had an easy route. Not their fault, the way it's supposed to be when you're the 1 seed and you've been as dominant as they've been. I'm just so interested to see. I'm so excited to watch this game.
I can't wait, man. It's going to be incredible.
Like, we didn't even go into like deep X's and O's because it's just a matter of like, I'm too giddy.
We're going to have 7 games, hopefully, to get into the deep X's and O's.
All right, real quickly, and then we'll go to our last topic, prediction. So, what's your prediction?
Man, I'm taking the Thunder. I picked the Thunder to win the title before the season, so I'm going with that still here. I'm going to go Thunder in 7.
I'm going Spurs in 7.
Woo! Gonna go win it in OKC, man.
They've answered the bell every time. They've lost game 2. They've lost home court in a series, or in both series. They've gone to a 5-game series, answered the bell when they needed to. Went down 1-0 against Minnesota, and people started chirping. Minnesota people started chirping. Actually, regular media people were chirping of like, the Spurs are in trouble. The Wolves are going to beat their ass, which it was like, it's almost like they forgot it was a 1-point game. But they lost.
And Minnesota had its best player at like 70% and was missing 2 other guys. Like,
I mean, but like people were like picking the people after game 1 were like, oh, they're going to win. But it was like, no, but they answered the bell. Survived a Wemby elbow, and it's like, the only thing that scares me about them in this series, and really been through the playoffs, they still struggle in the clutch. It hasn't looked great in clutch moments for them. I'm gonna be fascinated to see how the Thunder know exactly what they're doing in close games.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very simple offense. Give it to Shea. Get the hell out of the way.
Right.
Maybe it's a pick and roll with J-Dub.
Right.
And if
And
we get a switch,
we've seen in last year's finals that they can go to something else. They'll go to the J-Dub Shea pick and roll too
right.
and figure it out that way.
But like they're going to be that, like I don't think the Spurs have that yet, which is fine. Very young team, right? Like this is going to be that thing. But I think we've also just seen the road teams win some of these game sevens now so regularly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with the Spurs in 7. I think they're going to get I think they're going to the finals. I think we get a New York San Antonio finals.
1999 rematch.
It would be a lot of fun, bud, because a lot of the old Spurs are showing up. We know all the Knicks are.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be a lot of fun there. They should play. If that happens, we should get an offshoot game.
Yes.
Of like the old bring Avery Johnson back, have him go to call David Robinson the Admiral, like the way he would always say that. And I hope I don't get in trouble for saying that. I just loved it. But like bring everybody back. Like let's go and have fun with that. Meet at a park and play on one of the off days. With that. Jared, we do have to talk about this. I think we both had SGA as our MVP.
We did.
It's official. 2-time MVP. He enters kind of like a hallowed ground of multiple MVP winner. Man, like anything you want to add to it? Like I just don't have much to add to it other than like, yeah, well deserved. I got no qualms or like to me that's who I had. That's who I thought he was. If I had to point to something, it'd be his clutch numbers and the way he performed at tight games. Mm-hmm. Really kind of put the Thunder over the top, even though they were a very deep ass team. Any thoughts there on SGA's run?
No, I'm with you. Like incredibly well deserved. I think the only thing that maybe was mildly surprising was the margin by which he won. I think he got 83 of the first place votes, if I'm remembering correctly. And then the margin between Jokic and Wemby for second place, I thought was interesting. I did my vote like a week before the season ended and wound up having Wemby at 2. And then Jokic closed the season on a really ridiculous run and, maybe would have made me think twice about it. But Jokic, well-deserving number 2. Wemby would have been a well-deserving number 2. Either one of them, obviously, a well-deserving number 3. But, yeah, I think in the end, Shea just had the best resume for the clutch time numbers that you talked about, for the overall numbers. Like, he's doing things over the last couple of years that, like, only Michael Jordan has ever done. And this year, he became the first guy ever with a 33% usage and 66 true shooting. Like,
yeah, pretty good.
And he did it without J-Dub for most of the season, without Hartenstein for some of the season, Chet for some of the season, Caruso for some of the season, Dort for some of the season. Like, everybody on that team missed time. AJ Mitchell missed time. Like, everybody missed time. He missed some time in the middle of the season too, for the core injury that he had, the ab injury that he had. But the guy's there every night, just is a metronome of consistency. He's that good. He's going to be like, he's obviously early-ish in his career. We're going to consider him one of the all-time great guards by the time he's done.
Yeah. And we should round it out. Luka finished 4, Cade Cunningham 5. I know Boston fans are pissed. They thought Jalen could have ended up in that 5 spot. I know, but you're also a New Yorker, Jared. Like, we know your biases towards Boston.
Oh, I don't care. Like, I've talked about this before. Like, I don't care. Like, I care that the Knicks do well. I don't care about the Celtics losing or the Sixers losing or the Nets losing. Like, my dad hates all of the rival teams.
You didn't need to jump in the trap. It was a joke. You also, your university flipped one of Oregon's commits. So I'm always happy whenever I see that. Anybody that can make the University of Oregon hurt, I'm always happy with. We also, SC picked up a nice little commit too, but we're just going to not talk about that. We're in the playoffs. Definitely just focus on the NBA. Anything else you want to close with before we finish?
No, man, I'm just so excited for these series. Like, I think they're both like pretty evenly matched series, even if the Knicks, I do think, have some advantages that the Cavs have to overcome. Like, the other series is like incredibly evenly matched. And the Knicks and Cavs do have like a similar, at least, talent level, even if I think the Knicks have some matchup advantages.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Like, these conference finals are going to be great. I do want to end on this one. My last curveball for you, Jared. We should do a show one day of just all curveballs.
Just curveballs.
Just
like
curveballs.
Come in with no prep and each just ask each other like 3 or 4 questions.
And like the goal is to like throw the other one off of like, all right, well, what the fuck are you asking? Sorry. That was my only curse so far today. I was so close to making it the whole show without an actual curse. And that includes when I stubbed my toe. I do want to close with this.
You said fartfignugan when you stubbed your toe.
Fartfignugan. I try to do that when I don't want to say the F word, but I had already said it. This was the last show from Amazon Prime.
Yeah. Their
first season. Hiccups here and there or whatever. I see a lot of people complaining about, oh, it's streaming and da-da-da. I don't care about that.
I don't care about that either. The only thing I cared about issues-wise was the audio issues that they had throughout the season where you could hear a shot go in the basket and hear the announcer call it a basket before you would see it on the screen.
Yeah. But, like, besides that, I thought they did a damn good job with their coverage.
Absolutely.
I thought they did a good job with their play-by-play and at the game. I thought the team that they had with Blake, UD, Steve Nash, Dirk, Taylor Ricks as the host, and then, you know, the rotation of guys that they had. And I didn't catch everybody, but I know John Wall had gone through, you know, through times and things like that. But like, it is nice. And it's the same with the NBC crew as well.
Mm-hmm.
It is so nice having people actually enjoy basketball when they talk about it. Like,
and talk about basketball itself and not like everything else.
I thoroughly enjoyed their coverage this season. I thought I was excited and hopeful when these guys came in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like they've at the very minimum met my expectations and really more just it actually exceeded them. You know, they were doing on the court demonstrations, things like that. Like, I liked what they did. I thought this was a really successful year for Amazon. There are things they got to fix, right? The sound thing is actually really annoying, right? Like, that's a problem. It's really annoying. They got to fix that kind of stuff. But ultimately, like, well done, Amazon. Looking forward to seeing you guys, you know, next season with everybody.
100% agreement. And I think we should, you know, shout out Stan Van Gundy too, who I thought was terrific throughout the entire season.
Van Gundy, Ian Eagle, Brett Berry was on with them, right? That was Brett Berry,
Michael Grady.
All of them. Like, everybody was like, it was
good. Grady
like,
on NBC. I will say Grady, I get confused over who's on which networks.
Grady might have been NBC, but it was also great on NBC. Don't worry. After the conference finals, we're gonna do this again for NBC because I thought they've done it.
Well, that'll be Tarico, Reggie, and Jamal, right?
Yeah, for sure. But I think, and you know, one of them's a Bruin, so you just got to deal with that. But
he's also Reggie Miller, so
he's also a Bruin. What are you doing? He's a Bruin. No, we're done. We're going to end the show before we have a fight.
No, we're not fighting. I'm saying you can get him out of here. He's Reggie Miller. Get this guy out of here.
Okay. I didn't know. I thought you were saying it like, but he's Reggie Miller.
No. Are you kidding me? He's like the villain of my childhood.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You could run him how we both would approve of that for only the fact that he's a Bruin and he ruined Jared's childhood with all that. Thank you so much for listening to the Double Dribble Podcast, folks. Make sure you rate, review, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Let the folks at RealGM know how much you like having us on the show and having us on the feed. That's it.
See y'all.